All right, hello everyone. Welcome to this quick walkthrough of your weekly discussion forums for our course. If this all seems a little confusing at first, don't worry. We'll go through it together step by step. Again, look to the Canvas page on this topic for more visual representation and more information. But by the end, I'm hoping that you will feel confident navigating this process. But of course, reach out to me if you have any questions. So, first, let's just get into why do it. This is important to understand. Discussion is the bedrock of any seminar based course like this one, especially within literature courses. It is not just about proving that you've done the reading, it's about sharing your interpretation. That is more important to me. Hearing others' viewpoints equally is important to me, and building an engaging, respectful academic conversation. This is more. Um, Valuable to not just me, but you as a student in this course. These forums are your space to showcase your critical thinking and your literary analysis skills. Engage with your peers in a very safe, judgment free environment. I cannot stress that enough. Do not feel like what you produce in these discussion forums. Um, don't don't feel fear approaching it. It's meant to be. I want to hear your opinions. I am desperate to hear your opinions. And don't worry if you think your opinion sounds stupid, for lack of a better word. This is safe, judgment free. I want to see your opinions. I want to pull the opinions out of you and try and expand them a bit more. That's all we're doing here. Likewise, these discussion forums are a space to explore alternative opinions that challenge and enrich your own. Always a wonderful, wonderful skill to keep fostering. All right, so how it works. Okay, again, look visually to the Canvas page for this. That might help if you're struggling, but I'll just go over it here as well. Each week, you will be placed into a small group of about 5 students. You'll rotate groups each week, so you'll get to hear from a range of voices as the course progresses. Each group is assigned one discussion forum, labeled like week 1 forum A, week 1 forum B, and so on. You'll only have access to your assigned forum, so no need to hunt for the right one, or when you see them all lined up, A through D, A through E, whatever, don't panic and think you have to complete 5 forums. That's not what you have to do. Every forum includes a unique question based on that week's assigned reading or lecture. That means your prompt might be different from somebody else's, even if you're reading the same material. Also, I frequently update these, so don't get too comfortable with any of them, particularly if you've taken versions of my literature courses before or you know somebody who has. They will change. All right, so the online discussion forums in this course are designed to mimic in-person discussion, but for an online format. Therefore, each forum has 3 required parts, which are completed over 3 days. Part 1, you respond to the prompt. This is due Tuesday before midnight, and this is your initial post answering the instructor's question, me. Be thoughtful and support your ideas with references to the text. Then part 2, which is responding to a peer, that is due Wednesday before midnight. This is replying to the classmate you're assigned. Now, you will see there's a peer review function in Canvas that I've used before, but Canvas updates quite a lot. So you should be assigned. If you're not assigned in the actual assignment to another peer to respond to them, I will find a way of letting you know who you need to peer review, what student you need to reply to, essentially. So that could be a message, an email, something. I will let you know. You don't need to worry. You will know what to do here. But you basically reply to the classmate you are assigned. You engage with their ideas. Do you agree, disagree, or have something to add? Again, I give loads of helpful questions and prompts and etc. if you're feeling stuck on the Canvas page. And lastly, on Thursday before midnight, we have part 3, reply to the peer who replied to you. You're just engaged. I'm basically just drawing out online conversation within 3 days. So that's, again, do Thursday, close the loop, reply to the person who replied to your original post. Again, look on the Canvas page for more. But that's essentially it. Here's something incredibly important to note before we move on. However, this above, I don't do well to responding to late work in this course. It's a really short 8-week course. Submitting assignments on time is absolutely paramount. But in this assignment, the discussion forums out of every assignment in this course, it's really, really, really hard if you don't submit on time. It does get graded on a sliding scale with feedback, of course, but again, I'm really trying to treat these like in-person discussions that you'd have in a classroom as much as possible. So it's sort of like if you get participation points for participating or speaking in class, if you're not there, you don't get the participation points. That's sort of what this is. So if you're late to submitting part 1, it will disrupt the whole process, both for you and your peers. So please submit your post on time to keep the conversation flowing smoothly. Otherwise, you're going to lose lots of points, and that will build up in this course. Now that we got that out of the way, you can also earn extra credit. So you can earn this by either responding to additional peers in part 2 or 3, or just continuing, again, kind of the same thing, just continuing meaningful back and forth discussion. So just make sure that each post still follows the same quality standards as the rest of them. Otherwise, it won't count. This needs to be thoughtful, respectful, textually grounded. All right, so formatting. Keep your post between 80 to 150 words. That's about 1 to 2 paragraphs, long enough to make a point, short enough to stay focused. Begin with a greeting, hello, your name, or their name, I should say. Then your response. This is where the 80 plus word count starts. And then you can have a sign off if you like, although it's optional, because they will see your name. You don't have to be like, thank you, Amanda. But you can, because it's also just a nice thing to do when you're discussing things with your peers. If you're citing text, like an in-text citation within your discussion forum, post or response, etc., that's great. You don't have to, but that's great. But if you do use MLA in-text citations only, do not include a full bibliography reference at the end of your discussion forum post. It's unnecessary, more work on your part, and it just confuses the word count. Also, on that, avoid simply restating or copying and pasting my prompt question into your it's mostly happened in part 1, in your part 1 response to me, because it often just reads as you trying to pad your word count. I understand that there's times where it's unavoidable, and you have to kind of throw it in there a little bit, but I'd really try and avoid it. Just dive straight into the answer. If you do it though, and it's quite obvious, I'm not going to count that with the word count as well. Obviously, proofread before submitting, but it bears to be repeated. Typos and unclear writing will cost points. Really, really think about that. Obviously, avoid plagiarism of any kind, including AI-generated content. That should go without saying. And be respectful. Think of this like a real classroom discussion, as I said, and contribute accordingly. Great. And if you need help, don't worry. Here are some strategies. For part 1, you can try asking questions, offering opinions with support, or working through confusion. For part 2 and 3, you can respond thoughtfully to your peers, share what you learned, offer constructive criticism, or ask follow-up questions. I give more detailed help on this bit on the Canvas page, so make sure you have a look at that. And just to wrap up, here are some final thoughts. Please submit each part on time. Please, please, please. Engage meaningfully, not just out of obligation. This should be a conversation, not just a regurgitation of information, etc. You need to engage with your peers, not just provide an answer and move on. And use this space to explore ideas, grow your voice, and build community. I'm going to be moderating all discussions. I might interfere and interject, again, like you would in any classroom discussion. So keep on your toes. So stay sharp, stay engaged. And that is it. If you have any questions or run into issues, please reach out to me. Otherwise, have fun with it. I'm really looking forward to reading your thoughts each week, seeing how your ideas grow. This should be really, really good. So great. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, and happy discussing, everyone.